Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. I just almost lost my train of thought there, but it's finished. New York Red Bulls nil, Barcelona 2, another preseason win for Barcelona, and lots of takeaways from this game. Not all positive because like I would say, it's preseason. The results are not so important. It's about the performances. It's what you can get from that that you can see where the positives are, where the negatives are, where there's room for improvement. You want to look at that. I think for Barcelona this game is very interesting to look at in a nutshell because again it's Red Bulls. They're not let's be honest, they're not Champions League level team. They're not they're not really a threat to Barcelona. They're not really on Barcelona's level as such. So you expect them to win this game. You expect them to do what they did. But what you're really looking for is what are the things that they can take from this and learn from this for future games against better and bigger teams. And a few things that stood out for me. And started her headline that was Dembele sparked. Dembele was probably the best player on the pitch. He looked every time he had the ball, he looked like he wanted to do something with it. He had a couple of opportunities that he could have scored. He had a couple of chances where he could be fed in some other players as well. But he took his goal well. He did really, really well with his goal. And I tell you what, I think I said this before. I think this is a big season for Dembele. I think because he signed a new contract, he seems in a good frame of mind. I think this could be his season. I mean, this could be his season in a good way or a bad way. I think you probably get the season of go. This is the season where Dembele could have made it and he didn't, or this is the season when Dembele has finally made it. I think that is what we will see from Dembele. But he just looks class right now. I know it's preseason, but he looks class. He looks fit. He looks fresh. He looks hungry, and I think that is something that's going to be a big motivation for him, for everyone around him. I think he's currently on a very different level than what he has been, and I hope for Barcelona's sake, I hope he performs well. So I thought Dembele was good. What stood out to me, of course, was also Araujo playing right back, and I still feel Araujo and Kunde is Barcelona's best centre back pairing, I think. But I can kind of see why he's playing right back now because they don't really have a right back. I mean, Dest, I don't think is good enough. I don't think Roberto is good enough. And I think Dest probably will be a left backup anyway for Alba. So I can see why Araujo is playing there. I think he'll do a good job at right back. I just think that he's capable of more. I just think that playing at right back kind of takes away a lot of his strengths. And I know he'll do a job for the team. I still feel that Araujo and Kunde is the best starting center back pairing. Because if you don't play Araujo, then the question is who do you play? I don't think Garcia was that good today. I thought he looked shaky in parts. They were not tested that much, let's be honest. But even when they were, I thought he looked a little bit shaky. I think Christensen and Kunde will probably be the starting pairing because I don't think you can play PK week in, week out now anyway. But to me, I think it will be Christensen and Kunde, but I just feel that it should be Kunde and Araujo. But then, of course, who do you play right back if you play him there? So and that'll be the pairing. And some people might be going, well, Frankie Dale might play centre back. I don't think he will play centre back. If he says, I think he will play midfield. I don't think he'll play. He might be rotational centre back, but I don't think he'll be starting centre back, at least not in the big games. So I think it will be Christensen and Kunde. It's not a centre back pairing that fills me with a lot of confidence, but I think it might be good enough. I think it might do the job. It might get the job done ultimately. And then it depends on who plays in front of them. So that's something that you'll have to look at. And then Robert Lewandowski. And I mean, Robert Lewandowski had a lot of chances. Today was not a good day for ex-Bundesliga strikers, let's be honest. Haaland had a bad day today, and Lewandowski, I think, probably had a worse day than Haaland because at least Haaland didn't, he wasn't creating, he wasn't very involved. He looked like he was out of sync with the players, and so you thought, okay, maybe, he'll get back in. I mean, it depends on perspective. I thought Haaland actually was very bad when you think about it. From a certain perspective, I'm sure people say Haaland was bad because I think Lewandowski created chances and he had a load of chances. But the question is, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer striker who's out? Do you want to see positives in a striker who's out of sync, and that when he gets in sync, he'll score goals, or do you see a striker who's in sync with his teammates in some ways, but still can't finish chances? So swing and roundabouts, but I thought, yeah, you know what? I'll take that back. I think Lewandowski had a better day than Haaland. I don't think anybody could have a worse day than Haaland. To take a lot. But I thought Lewandowski was pretty poor today. And the reason why I say he was out of form, not poor, but he was out of form because there was a lot of times and he had a lot of, I think he had 7 or 8 chances. And some of them were straightforward, some of them were a little bit difficult. To expect him to make more of that, take that. And I did feel towards the end of his stay on the field, I think in the 60th or 70th minute, I thought the team was visibly catering to getting him a goal. Like every time they were in good positions, they were trying to find Lewandowski, they were trying to find Lewandowski. And I think that is, that's a problem. That's a problem because you don't want to do that in a big game. You don't, in any game, you don't want to do that. You don't want to take a chance where you're 1-0 up and you're trying to feed your striker to try to build his confidence. I know it's preseason and all that, but you don't want to get into that habit, especially in once the regular season starts. But he struggled, and the big miss was a 23rd minute miss because that he was basically one on one. He was one on one with the keeper. He's unmarked. He's completely alone. De Jong did well, by the way, to get the ball. Dembele and De Jong combined well. They got the ball to Lewandowski, and then an in-form Lewandowski hits that first time, and it's a goal. That's what it is. At least it's the first time. This Lewandowski is different. He's a little bit underconfident. He's a little bit scared. I'm not scared. I would say he's a little bit frustrated. He's a little bit, he wants to get over that milestone. So he takes a touch. He takes a touch to set himself up, and when he takes a touch, that chance is gone, and the goalkeeper saves it. Okay, the goalkeeper was saving it, by the way, but still, I think Lewandowski should have finished that first time, and he didn't take it first time because that's the difference. And I think that is something you don't want. What you don't want, you can accept a striker not firing goals. You accept a striker struggling. What you don't want is you don't want him to visibly start panicking, and you don't want him to start getting frustrated. When it starts to affect you mentally, that is an issue. And I think that's something that they'll have to talk to him about and try to get that sorted quickly, because last thing you need is your big star striker struggling mentally for in front of the goal. That's what you don't want. So I thought he had an average game. There's still time, of course. I'm sure Barcelona still have 2 weeks, and they're probably going to play a couple more games, I think. So they'll have time to kind of sort that out and get him firing. I do feel that he contributes a lot anyway. Just overall in the game, I think he'll be contributing a lot. So I don't think goals are going to be that important. They'll get them from elsewhere. I like Raphinha as well. I thought Raphinha did well when he came on. I think his link up with Dembele has been very good. As I think he was instrumental in that first goal that Dembele scored. I thought he played a big part in that. I think those two combining will be very, very interesting to watch. And remember, they're both opposite footed. They're both right and left footed. So you can play them. You can play them together. You can switch wings. They can both play either side. They can both play as inverted wingers. They can play regular wingers. It gives you a lot of options when you have 2 wingers that you can play that both operate on different feet. I think that's definitely something to have. And I think the final point that and the second goal, by the way, before I talk about the final point, the second goal, it's all about Memphis. Memphis does really well, I think, because the defender tries to block him off. Sometimes you just got to clear your line. Sometimes you just, you can't always try to game manage things. Sometimes you just got to go, I'm going to clear this. Right? I'm not going to take a chance. So he tried to take a chance. The ball didn't drop. And Memphis went, there you go, I'm just going to take it forward. And he hit it against he got a little bit lucky because I think he was trying to go for goal. The flick was for goal, but it kind of flicked off the keeper. And it actually became a much more easier chance after. But still, you make your own luck. And he made his own luck with that because he chased after it. He didn't give it up. And he did really well to get that goal. So I thought that was a good piece of goal. I thought the red card was a red card, but in the friendly, you really shouldn't be trying to give red cards out, but you got a red card, that's totally fine. I think that's the way it is. I think the game was gone anyway. But then, like I said, it was about the performances, not the results at that point. But my last point that I want to make is Frenkie de Jong. And what's interesting is he played 45 minutes again, but he played in midfield. And I do believe that playing him at centre back was a ploy to kind of show to him that, look, you've not got a future in this team, and therefore we need you to go. I just wonder playing him at central midfield now is perhaps an admission that they're not going to be able to sell him, or a cynical conspiracy theory here, by the way, was he played there to try to show Manchester City that this guy is a midfielder that you can take instead of, and give us Bernardo Silva. That could be something as well. I mean, just think of it, keep that in mind as well. Sometimes football is a lot more political than anything. Maybe that's a conspiracy theory. We know that it is. Maybe it is, wacky conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy theory, but that's just what I'm thinking, because it's so weird that he's played centre back for the last 3 games or 4 games, and now he plays as a midfielder all of a sudden. I mean, he's a midfielder, but it's an interesting change of that. But to be honest, I don't see how he won't be a starter. I mean, whether he's a centre back, whether he's a midfielder, he's not a starter for Barcelona because he can't play in that CDM role. That's not his best position. And so you have to play him in those 2 midfield roles. But I don't see him getting ahead of Gavi and Pedri unless they're injured. Of course, it'll be a rotation option. I don't see him as a starter. But you know what? Sometimes I'm sure he'll think, well, it's better for me to be a substitute at Barcelona than to be a starter elsewhere. At this point, to be honest, it's better to be a substitute at any club than to be a starter at Manchester United, for example. But I think City or Chelsea might want him, and that might make some difference. But keep an eye on that one as to why he played in midfield. That's why conspiracy theory right there. Anyway, let me know in the comments what did you think about the game. What do you make of the Dembele's performance, Raphinha, Lewandowski? Let me know. Araujo, there's a lot to talk about, of course, the game. So let me know what you think. Do smash a like for Barcelona for this win. And do remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook as well. Tantalizing close to 800 subscribers to help us cross that milestone. We might have one more match reaction episode coming, so if you do subscribe, you get notified for that today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. See you again soon. Bye-bye.